walked in one day and they tell me this.
Good evening, everyone. I apologize for running a little bit late. We'll go ahead and start tonight's council meeting with our invocation. Mr. Whitehead, if you would, can you do our prayer for us, please?
Sure. Lord, thank you for bringing us together tonight and to conduct this business of the city. And we just pray for wisdom and courage to make the decisions that need to be made and removing our personal preferences. Thank you for this beautiful weather and just thank you for this coming Easter. In your name, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We could make sure all our mics are on. Go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:36. Ms. Liz, if you do roll call, please.
Eric Shine,
Here.
Bryant Sands,
Here.
Adrian Flores,
Here.
Lisa DeGifford,
Yes, here.
Emily Reach,
Here.
Scott Menham,
Here.
Steve Whitehead,
Here.
and Roy Brunson. I show him absent. We have quorum, Mayor.
And if on the agenda is a consent agenda with minutes and the financial statement, you take a motion.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none, roll call.
Eric Shine,
Yes.
Adrian Flores,
Yes.
Scott Menham,
Yes.
Bryant Sands,
Yes.
Lisa DeGifford,
Yes.
Emily Reach,
Yes.
Steve Whitehead.
Yes.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as read is approved. This is approved.
Next on the agenda is the public forum where we receive comments made on issues we address the city council.
Go ahead and open public forum at 6:37. Go ahead and close public forum at 6:37 since I see no one coming up.
There's no business. The first item of new business is a resolution to approve and authorize the mayor to execute an amendment to work order number 2 with McClellan Consulting Engineers for the Concord Street Improvement Project in the city of Laurel, Arkansas.
So move.
Entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Second was by Lisa.
Who did this first?
Well, Lisa did it first, and second
Scott
was
was
by
second.
Scott.
Yeah, I did.
There are some other slides as well. There's the resolution and I believe, a picture. Trying some new things.
Okay.
Any discussion?
This is from the Robinson 2 School Avenue side.
Yeah, there are some additional testing that needs to be done. That is done by McClellan. McClellan's here if you'd like to ask questions concerning what they're going to do as part of this, but material testing and some of the other stuff is actually done by that firm.
Are we putting roundabout over there?
We have 1,100 apartments going in over there, courtesy of our neighbor.
And, excuse me, when Concord is completed, there'll be sidewalks all the way to Robinson, right?
Yes, sir.
Pleasant to Robinson.
If you want to, Mr. Beaumont.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Yes, the amendment you have before you has 4 components to it. There was some additional design work that we had to do to accommodate the roundabout to avoid utilities, and then Rogers Water directed us that we couldn't have one of the sanitary sewer manholes in the traveled way, so we had to change the roundabout configuration again to avoid that, so as to avoid the expense of those utility relocations There's bidding services that we have provided to the city already, and then there's construction observation administration services to oversee the construction and make sure that everything is installed according to specifications and the city's money is being spent on things that are up to standard. And then finally, there's construction materials testing for the entire project. You may be aware that the project is basically a combination between us and Craft and Toll. Craft and Toll have designed the east-west portion of School Avenue extension through to Dixieland, and we have done the roundabout and the north-south portions. So because it's kind of been a partnership between us, so we're going to do all the construction materials testing, and they're doing some of the observation on their portion, but we're doing all the materials testing for the entire project. So it's those 4 tasks that combined add up to the 108,000. And then to your question that was asked about, will there be sidewalks all the way from there down to Robinson? The answer is yes, but that's the second phase that we're working on at the present time.
And the roundabout will not start till school is out?
That's correct. That has to be completed while school is out. They can't start beforehand, and they must finish it.
Do you
when
have
school
a,
starts.
like, an estimated time on how long it will take for, because I'm assuming the street will be done before that, School Street. And then how long the roundabout will take to, because I know you're gonna block off
The
Concord.
road's gonna be closed
And that's
halfway.
what my concern is going around, because I live on Concord.
Yes.
So, just curious how long you anticipate it being closed.
This is Robbie Bullis, he's the design engineer on it. I'll let him answer those questions.
So it'll be closed from June 1st through the end of July.
Oh, that's it?
They have 2 months to build.
Oh,
That's in the
okay,
contract.
okay.
And there's pretty hefty liquidated damages.
They could start a little bit early if they get the okay from the school.
Okay.
There's a panic reason they don't be on time.
I was just thinking months and months, so I can handle that.
No, we designed it so that it should be, we're trying to retain existing payment and building on top of what's there. So
Okay.
What happens if they don't hit the July 31st date?
they get hit with some pretty big.
7,000 a day, liquidated damages.
Yeah, penalties,
Enough to give them some motivation, incentivize them.
yeah.
Good.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank
You're welcome.
you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Eric Shine,
Yes.
Roy Brunson's not here, Emily Reach,
Yes.
Lisa De Gifford,
Yes.
Bryant Sands,
Yes.
Steve Whitehead,
Yes.
Andrea Flores,
Yes.
and Scott Munham.
Yes.
Motion to approve this resolution is approved. It will be given number 25-15.
Adrian.
What did I say?
Didn't say Adrian.
I did.
Andrea, I think.
It's Adrian.
Quite excited.
I said something else.
Well, because I'm afraid of
I'm deaf in one ear and can't hear out of the other, so I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
My apologies, Adrian. We'll work on it.
that's my concern.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Is resolution to waive competitive bidding, authorize the mayor to execute purchase of one 2025 Dodge Durango Pursuit all-wheel drive from the Red River Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat for the Lowell Police Department and to appropriate funds for same. Have you received a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
My main thing I want to say is I'm so glad the officer was not harmed.
I second that.
I gather this was an accident?
No fault of the city, yes. There's an accident. The officer was back to work in a couple days.
Yes, he
But-
just had a scratch, thank
but
goodness.
The car was totaled, and insurance, once we settle with our company, will pay for the car.
Okay. Two-car collision, or?
Yeah, we hit another car was involved, yes, and a telephone pole.
Ooh,
Was the impact to the telephone pole big? Not really.
It took out the telephone pole and took out the car.
How long will it take to put the telephone pole back
It
up?
was back up the next day.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, that pole was not in service, so it wasn't in service.
Yeah.
They did put it back up.
Sweet.
I think they had Cox or whatever, so you guys lost like internet for a while out there. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Eric Shine,
Yes.
Emily Reach,
Yes.
Lisa DeGifford,
Yes.
Bryant Sands,
Yes.
Steve Whitehead,
Yes.
Adrian Flores,
Yes.
and Scott Menham.
Yes.
Motion to approve the resolution is approved. It's given number 25-16.
Next on the agenda is to a resolution to authorize creation of an additional building inspector position within the Community Risk Reduction Fire Department for the City of Lowell, Arkansas. And you've received a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Emily.
I know.
Discussion?
Approximately how many new houses are already in development?
Karen? You have a number on new houses? Or is that something we need to
In
go
the
to?
city,
Yes, ma'am.
completely, we have 2,157 rooftops waiting to build after the sewer lines are complete.
Say that again?
2,157
Waiting to be built?
that are approved, yeah.
And this is full houses? Or-
These are, most of them are full, single-family homes. Some are duplexes, yeah.
Okay.
How many can one inspector do in a year, on average?
In a year, that would be, basically, I can tell you right now that every new home will have 4 permits issued to it and a minimum of 25 inspections if all the inspections pass the first time.
One house gets 25 inspections?
Yep. If they pass the first
Multiple
time.
trades.
Electrical, plumbing,
So
everything.
you have your footing inspection, your under slab inspection for plumbing, your under slab for electric, then your slab and termite inspection, then you've got a framing, an in-wall, a rough and electric, a rough and plumbing, a rough and mechanical, then you've got an insulation inspection. If it's a 2-story house, you have a firewall inspection. If it's a duplex, you have a serious firewall inspection, because we have to separate both units. Then you're gonna come back and do a final of your frame, inside and outside. And you're gonna do the outside grounds and slope, then you're gonna do your final plumbing, your final mechanical, and your final electrical. And if they all pass the first time, you've got about 25 inspections. And then when you get into commercial, they can have as many as 6 permits, and you can be looking at almost 70 to 80 total inspections by the time you get done with that project, because they will divide the building into pieces and parts. So you'll do the office section, maybe 4 or 5 in this corner, all of those trades will go through, then they'll move to this part. So, for example, in the UL, I believe I was in the UL building between Robbie and I together probably close to 90 times before that building was done.
That's a big building also.
Correct, but it's just the time consumption that it takes for a person. If I was to go on and done one of their final, I would have been there for about 12 hours.
That was gonna be
Day
my
and a half
question.
Just for me, that's just the final inspection. Had nothing to do with the beginning.
So Seth, on the original inspections, the 25 that you mentioned, how long does it generally take to do an inspection on, just taking on one house?
If I was, a footing inspection can take you 15 minutes. A rough-in inspection for the 4 trades, depending on the size of the house. A small 3-bedroom house like they're building now with D.R. Horton could be 45 minutes. If you go into a house like GRW's building, which is the fancy 5 bedrooms, you could be there an hour and a half to do a rough-in.
Okay. So with 2,000 plus houses,
How long
that's
will
a,
it take?
a lot of
Currently,
man-hours.
We have, currently right now, I have,
Potential
as
for
of,
sure.
at this moment, not including any commercial projects or individual homes, we have 9 buildings look at, they want 6 buildings, 6 townhouses, times 4 trades, that's 24 inspections that one man's gonna do just to get one building done. So that'll be that'll be half a day on a rough end. He'll be committed to that.
So for 2,000 houses, for 2 people to do in 1 year, is that enough?
No.
Is that under by 5, under by 3?
As of right at the moment, I would be, as the building official, the one handling most of the commercial. So that would leave the 2 inspectors to get the residential work done. They could probably handle that load.
2,000 in 1 year.
Yeah, we're doing, between Robbie and I together, we're doing anywhere between 60 and 75 a day.
So 3 is adequate.
3 should be adequate unless, as I moved into the new position and also including the plans reviewing and the training of the fire plans reviewer, which all the plans have to be reviewed, all the permits have to be approved. I'm currently doing that now. At the same time, I'm going out and doing 35 to 40 inspections a day.
So 2,000 is projection for 25, correct? Like all of net of 25?
No.
That's just what's approved.
No.
25, because some of them are just beginning to
I don't
get
think they
Well,
can do
they're
all
waiting on
those.
those sewer projects, and the sewer projects are not projected to be complete until the end of the year.
Got it.
And so you're looking at 2026.
26.
Yeah.
And so this is adding a position for like a contract of 1 year, or is it permanent of that additional person?
Position. And then just to give another, I guess, background, we had our permit tech, Charlotte, had informed me a couple weeks ago. We hit a point where Seth and Robbie were doing probably 18 to 30 inspections a day, and we were 10 days out before we could schedule additional inspections. And so that's why we looked at this. And just to answer your question, I like your questioning, because there is a chance as the city continues to grow, we might need to come back and ask for additional. I'd had that conversation with the mayor as well.
Cool.
But for now, I feel like this will suffice, and then we'll come back to you with an update.
Okay.
You know, being in the trades for the last 25 years, the thing I can say is the inspector and the tradesman are a love-hate relationship. And the biggest thing that we hate is the wait. You know, I can fix something that didn't pass in a matter of minutes a lot of the times. And if he's so far behind that it takes 4 or 5 days to get back to re-inspect, you could see a complete collapse in a whole subdivision.
I agree with you. In fact, if anybody has been watching the Arkansas state legislature and some of the bills that have been introduced, some of these bills that are being introduced are simply because of the problem in Arkansas of not enough inspectors, not enough permit techs, the delay in getting these things issued out and inspected. They are actually pushing to eliminate our jobs, period, by saying there is no need for inspections. You buy a house, it will be complete. If we don't give you an answer as to why you can't build it in, I believe it's 6 days, then your permit is automatically approved. I may not even have looked at it in 6 days if I've got a backlog, let alone approve it and get it emailed to you. And you will then go and hire a home inspector who will go and look at the home and determine whether or not you should be able to have a COO and live in it. We will basically be taken out of the realm of control on whether or not buildings are safe or not safe for people to live in.
And let me give you an understanding of what he just said. To become a home inspector, you take a 1-week class, you take an open book test, and then you can become a home inspector.
He will not see the footing, he will not see the slab, he will not see the plumbing behind the walls, he will not see the electric behind the walls, he will not see the HVAC as it was installed, and he will not see 99% of all the code violations that we find when we do our inspection. So you're basically gonna have a city full of homes that, who knows?
Good luck.
So they're not even gonna require permits for the contractors? They won't even require permits for the contractors?
No,
So I could just go build a house?
it's exactly what some of our legislatures would like to have done.
Oh, Lord, no.
You can build a fourplex and rent 3 of them out.
God help the people living in it.
Yeah, the zoning actually was also in there as well.
Yeah,
Oh, my.
Yes.
do away with it.
Yep.
I mean, thankfully I have a husband that could build a house, but me? No.
So when would how soon would we fill this role?
We would look to open up a recruitment probably by the end of the week, sir.
So then, have this one for, like, started this quarter, and then at the end of '25, then put in a rec for an additional 4th one, right?
Potentially, yes,
Yeah.
sir. We'll work with our staff and kind of gauge how far out we are, and try to keep that to a minimum, as the councilman said. We want to keep the contractors and developers happy, so we want to keep building that, turning on a reputation for dragging it out.
Trying to make sure you guys have everything you need.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Eric Schein,
Yes.
Emily Reach,
Yes.
Lisa T. Gifford,
Yes.
Bryant Sands,
Yes.
Steve Whitehead,
Yes.
Adrian Flores,
Yes.
Scott Mendham.
Yes.
This motion to approve the resolution is approved. The number assigned is 25-17.
Next on the agenda, there is a resolution to amend section 3, the authority to hire and fire, in the personal handbook and procedures manual for the city of Lowell, Arkansas. And you can see a motion.
Entertain a motion.
So moved?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Who did the second?
Emily?
Okay, I can't even hear her.
Is your mic on, Emily?
Yeah, it's on, sorry.
Is it?
Yeah, it's on.
Soft spoken? Okay. Sorry. Sean?
I'm just gonna go back to an email that was circulated that was talking about how it was not addressed in previous. You know, we get our packets so that we can review and we can read everything that's in there. You know, everything was really well laid out. Understand, we've actually gone through this back and forth through our handbook throughout the years. I've been on the personnel handbook committee at one point. And one of the biggest things we discussed was the fact that we don't have enough citizens that live in this city. We would love to have our city ran by citizens. And, you know, I know that, you know, we all understand that this is not, they're not talking about a direct influence. It would be like, we couldn't have the chief and I being directly related. Or the mayor couldn't have his wife work here. But what we're talking about here is a city employee that the council has no ability in the personnel. We cannot get involved in personnel. Am I correct there, Tom?
The city council should never engage, right, in day-to-day operations with regard to personnel activity.
So therefore, there is no issue with nepotism or anything like that in this, correct?
Is there no issue with nepotism?
If it's like a family member of a council member or something that gets you know, if my son wanted to mow grass or something on the street department, it's,
The amendment that's suggested would make that prohibited, right? That's what's I think in this resolution, and the reasons are many, of course, but while agreed you wouldn't, a city councilor wouldn't directly supervise somebody out there that worked day to day. They could certainly, you know, if not wield influence, certainly have the impression, the public could get the impression that, well, of course, so-and-so is protecting or wielding influence over, or making sure that the budget gets adjusted so that person gets paid more or something like that. And that's what you're trying to avoid when you put in these policies, is avoid even that impression that someone might get. That's one of the reasons that you put those in. And so I think that's what would be prohibited in this resolution. I think you would place that nepotism policy back into the handbook, I think is what we're doing.
All it's doing is reverting it to the way it was in 2023.
Yeah,
And it has been for years prior as well.
Actually,
it's actually gone back and forth.
it's gone back and forth.
Yes.
And, I mean, why are we just looking at, I mean, we've had multiple family members work within the city. You're not looking at that, you're looking at strictly city council members.
It's like, you know, Lisa's husband is.
My husband's a
is
police officer.
Auxiliary and so, how much does he get paid?
He gets paid zero to protect this city,
So-
Adrian.
so
He
by
does
doing
it for
something like
free.
This would
I want you to
actually,
know that.
it would actually prohibit,
Why are you getting upset?
Because I take this personal.
but,
I take this as a personal attack that you don't want my husband to be a police officer because I serve on city council.
Was this the policy in 2023? Was he serving during that policy?
Mhm.
Okay.
With this, like, with this, reverting this, I was not on council when this was voted on. I'm curious if going back to this, would that make it where he would not be able to serve? Is that what it, I think it's talking about, like, specifically within, like, in here, right?
So basically,
Positions in
Adrian
here, like
wants it
HR,
to
things like
where
that.
if you serve on the city council, you cannot have a relative work in the city.
so, and that would be like a guy weed eating. That would be, it'd be anything. So, you know, if somebody was related, I mean, let's get real. How many people have relatives in the city?
Yeah.
You know, I have a relative also that's an elected official here. By the time you start looking at this, what is our population? Anybody remember?
900,
Uh-huh. Yeah, so we start realizing how many people actually would want to be a part and participate in the city. You know, if this was Rogers, if this was Bentonville, and you're trying to protect it and isolate, but if the kid that lives down the street just happens to be related to you, and they want a job here, that they could walk over here and be their first big boy job of mowing grass or whatever, they can't do it at that point. You know, it really isolates that, and we have no jurisdiction, no oversight over employees. You know, most businesses say, oh, you can't have somebody under you that is related to you. That way there's a separation. Now this takes it from where we're actually separated. We are legislative branch. We are not the executive branch, which is the mayor. We're not the enforcement branch, the police. You know, we are completely a sidestep that we oversee an entire budget. We're not setting budgets. We're not managing. We're not doing anything. And saying, even though we are completely set aside, that somebody that just happens to be related to us couldn't be a part of the city.
I guess, well, because I think of positions like HR or finance, stuff like that. Like, if my husband wanted to apply for HR, that we would probably all agree that that wouldn't be appropriate, right? Why would my husband, or like finance or anything like that, I wouldn't.
So that's why
That's where I'm at.
that's why I just said is, we are not in direct management over anybody. We can't be.
Right.
The only ones that we kind of interact with is department heads. And so department heads, as it stands, can't be, you know, that there's that line that's already there. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to make it as an absolute, doesn't make sense.
Well, I have 2 points here.
Yeah.
One, I find it funny, the change in position, because when I was asked to run,
Mhm.
the big thing was Jen, the HR finance lady. Her husband was going to run for city council. And the general sentiment among a lot of people in this room was that that was terrible.
Okay.
Why the change?
What, why was the change that the HR person, and so I didn't completely follow what you just said.
So when I was asked to run,
Uh-huh.
the then HR and finance lady, director,
Okay, and that was.
her husband was running for
that
city
was-
council.
That was who? Oh, I'm sorry, yes, I
Darcy.
remember, yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh,
Her husband was running for city council as well.
uh-huh.
The general sentiment was that that would be very improper, and I agree.
Okay.
From yourself as well.
Actually, you misunderstood.
I heard that
You
both
didn't,
from
you
y'all.
misunderstood that that was what you thought I said. I said I didn't feel like he was appropriate. Not that it wasn't appropriate. I didn't
You
feel
told
like,
me in no uncertain terms that yes, it was inappropriate.
I said he was inappropriate. Please don't mess up my words. He was not inappropriate. And you remember, I'm the guy that will tell you 100% to your face exactly what I feel. And I say things on this council that make people cringe. And I'm telling you right now, public record, I didn't feel that man was appropriate to be on council. I still don't feel like he's appropriate to be on council. I didn't find her as appropriate either. So, with that being said, I'm just saying that wasn't my consent. But the end result, what I'm trying to say here is, and I'll be 100% obvious, I'll be 100% clear. My wife did apply to be the HR director. And I said at that point, hey, guess what? If she does, I step down. Because I've served 21 years on this council. It is time for somebody else to potentially take that position. But that's my own decision. And because I felt like that HR position was potentially a conflict of interest to me, but we're not talking about an HR position, because that was a director level position. So the,
I'm sorry.
yeah, I was just gonna say, we're talking about everybody. We're talking about lawnmowers, we're talking about police officers, we're talking about firefighters, we're talking about everybody. But once again, my answer was, as a director level position, that conflict of interest, I would have absolutely stepped down.
And, we'll just be real clear, I think it's up there. So, immediate family members of the department head, would not be eligible, of course, to work at the department head. That's in the employee, supervisor realm. And then, it's immediate family members of the currently serving mayor, clerk, treasurer, city council are ineligible to be hired by the city during the term of that elected official. So again, it's immediate family, it's not necessarily second cousins, but, it'd be the household. Immediate family members, I would think, would be in the household. Maybe parents, but, that would be the restriction, and that's pretty common. It's, I wouldn't say universal, but clearly it's not universally held as valuable. Lisa, I've never heard, when I was asked to look at it, you were not discussing, no one brought you up at all, no one ever brought up your name, so I hate that you take that personally. I want you to know
Well,
that.
I'm the only one that has
And if he's
an
a
employee
volunteer,
that's,
Is he a volunteer or employee? And
he is a reserve officer.
Is that, but
He is a volunteer.
He's volunteer? So that wouldn't be prohibited to volunteer for the city.
But
at all.
Lisa's situation is not the first we've had either.
No.
No, I mean.
Where
I
we've
mean,
had a
Chastity
council member-
Taylor,
To be clear, it would prohibit, I'm not saying it's never going to happen, it would prohibit that going forward.
we had the Taylors, and when there was something that Chastity had to vote on that directly affected her husband, she abstained, but he was also a paid officer.
Right, I think that has happened before. I mean, I remember when the mayor's daughter worked for the building, when she cleaned the building. And so, and, you know, to be fair, there are folks out there that see that as not the best idea. They get an impression from it. And that's one of the things that you're trying to prohibit by, but it's, again, very, very common. It's not aimed at any particular situation. It really isn't. It's just, it popped out and now it's popping back in. It's been out for very long.
Was there a because, like I said, I was here for the meeting, I wasn't on council, but I remember, like, them asking what was being changed in the handbook, and, I think the consensus was, like, nothing really was being changed. And I was just curious, like, what was the reason for the change then? If it,
This was something that was worked on, and the file was pulled. It was unaware that this was part of what was pulled, but this is something that Danny was working on with us. We were trying to move towards a nepotism policy versus something, and I think it's more similar to what Springdale has, which is a pure nepotism policy versus the authority to hire and fire policy.
Mr. Mayor, I was going to ask that exact question. Is this verbiage in line with what other cities are doing?
No, sir, it is not.
Pretty brief.
It's,
You know, you can get much more.
this is,
Could we see an option?
yeah, I was gonna say, can we
yes,
see what's
and,
going on?
and that's, I think, well, Maria has what Springdale and Rogers.
So the safer option is putting in like a nepotism clause? Or is that like
I think Springdale is more thorough, and nepotism is extremely thorough, actually, and what Doug and Mayor Sprouse has.
I personally would be in favor. It looks like she's passing out something. I personally would be in favor of at least tabling this until it could be
reworked?
reworked. That's
second
good word, Bryant. Reworked.
We'd have to pull the current motions that are in place before we could do that.
Adrian?
Do we have to pull those motions, or could
Yes,
I
we
just
have to
motion to
rescind
table
them.
it?
If your motion succeeds, you know, in other words, I think that would be a good message that, you know, the people that voted to do pass it wouldn't mind it being tabled. You know, I think, in other words, yeah, you can make that motion.
Okay, I would say I make the motion to table this until we can rework it and possibly be more in line with something like Springdale has that's a little,
I have a motion to table.
Second.
And a second.
And I think something like, at least the first one there, I think it's Rogers, would be acceptable as well because it does prevent the immediate supervisor of said position from being the immediate family member, which would address the issue, right? So if we are overseeing department heads, the department head could be an immediate family member, and that would exclude the guy mowing the grass, whoever else. And so that would take care of those concerns as well.
I trust our HR director will, if given the ability to do her job, will come up with a policy that's something that you guys can review and look at and come to an agreement with. So I have a motion and a second to table to allow Ms. Maria to,
Lisa made the second.
for HR to come back with something. Is there any further discussion on that? Seeing none, roll call on the motion to table.
Adrian Flores,
Yes.
Emily Reach,
Yes.
Steve Whitehead,
yes.
Eric Shine,
Yes.
Lisa D. Gifford,
Yes.
Scott Mendenham,
Yes.
and Bryant Sims.
Yes.
Motion to table the resolution for HR to rework it to be more like either Springdale or Rogers is approved.
I would take that as a consent that the people who made that motion consent.
So, our next items for announcements and discussion, hopefully we'll have our Easter egg with good weather, Pastor? Hopefully.
Karen and I have been talking about it. Obviously, the weather's predicted to be very poor on Saturday, but I'm believing that it's not going to be.
So,
If we wake up that morning, I think, and it is, then we will make moving to the following weekend, or doing a drive-through Econ, or something good for the community, because we have a ton of eggs that we gotta get rid of.
And the next slide, we've graciously, in partnership with LRS, have rescheduled for our bulk spring cleanup. It'll be on our social media, so if you do have social media, please share this so we can get the word out that this has been rescheduled. That would be greatly appreciated. And with that, is there any other items that we'd like to discuss?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have put together a preliminary thought on a ordinance that I would love everybody to take a look at and give me some input on, but
Oh, this is somebody's.
I believe that we need to focus our budget for now and in the future a little differently. I believe that we need to start with our emergency services first. You guys all know that I am always the guy that says emergency services first. And what I'd like to see is it a part of our rules that we actually abide by, is that every 3 years, we put together a salary comparison to the cities that align like we do on both 71 Business and I-49. The downside is when we try to compare, we have to compare apples to apples. Our police officers and our firefighters and all of our emergency services are doing the same job as what Rogers, Bentonville, Springdale, Fayetteville are doing, but our salaries are not reflective as of that. And so what we end up doing is we start training these individuals and we get them up to speed, and then as soon as we get them exactly where we want them, they go to another city. I've talked to all of the chiefs during my tenure. I've talked to all of the finance directors over the last several years, and the biggest thing that we can come to is it's about 2 years worth of salary for every new firefighter, every new police officer that we put on the field. And if we start doing that math, we would save a bunch of money if we would just actually pay them a competitive wage across the board. If we get a whole bunch of new rookies out there this month and they're going through the academy, they're going through all of their stages where they're doing their ride-alongs and everything else, every time you're doing that, when you have somebody in the academy, they're getting paid while they're going to school. Then when they get done, then they ride along with another officer, so you have 2 officers on salary in 1 car. And then when they get all through this, then they go off. Same thing with the firefighter. The same thing with the dispatcher. Every time we get a new emergency service person, the chance of us losing them is great. And so if we completely rethink our budget, and I know I'm going to probably get a little hate on this, but if we don't mow the grass in the park, nobody's going to get hurt. It's not a big deal. It's like, oh, we might have a little bit of tall grass if we go every other time to mow the grass instead of every time that we do it now. But if we don't have that officer out there, if we don't have that fireman out there, there are people that will get hurt. There are people that will be suffering because of the fact that we don't put that important first. And that's absolutely my feeling, and I can't imagine anybody that would actually argue with me on this. I mean, financially, physically, and practically, there's nothing that you can argue to the opposite side of my statement. The only thing I can say is I know that This is gonna put a strain at the front end on trying to rethink this. I know people are gonna ask me, what are we gonna cut? Where are we gonna cut it from? My answer is yes. Where are we gonna cut it from? Yes. We're gonna have to cut it from somewhere. We have only so many dollars, and it's gonna hurt for a minute, but we gotta rip that Band-Aid off. But I'd love for everybody to take a look at that, and I'm open to discussion on it and see where we can go.
Well, the good news is I think a lot of these points have been researched pretty well by someone who used to work for the city. So we might be able to tap what he researched as well.
Right, that's why what I would say is we just did a review, and I'm saying this would push us out for 3 years from now. That would give us 3 years to come back and revisit it. And then in 3 years from there. So we're not saying we're ripping the Band-Aid off today. We're saying we're projecting that in the future and then ripping it off at that point.
Maria just completed one, so.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That would push this off for another 3 years. I looked at 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, just trying to get an idea with this. And there's other cities around the country that do something very similar to this. And I actually contacted a councilman in another city, actually outside the state of Arkansas. And he said he put a lot of time and effort into understanding a lot of this, and he said 3 years was his happy medium.
Well, thank you to Ms. Maria and Ms.
Yes.
Amber for getting that done.
Absolutely.
I do also want to say a sad goodbye. This is Ms. Amber's last city council. She is going off to Benton County. It's better work-life balance for her, so she will be sadly missed. And we have a state auditor coming in to replace her, so we will get some code compliance on that side of things, which will be an interesting change for us on our side of things. So it'll be an interesting time for us on that change. So, is there anything else for discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
Second.
Second. We're adjourned 7:22.
Ms. Amber, you will be missed.
We'll throw a big party for her. We'll let you guys know when we're going to have it so we can embarrass her one last time.
No, it's not. That's what
Fayetteville is the only city in Northwest Arkansas that doesn't run EMS. Springdale runs EMS, Rogers runs EMS, Bentonville runs EMS, Bill Vista runs EMS. Lowell has,
Fayetteville run Pafford also?
Fayetteville runs Central EMS, and they have for years.
But they're like Pafford, they're outsourced.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I mean, I heard kind of what happened. The pay was low, paramedics were leaving, so the chief, before this chief, wanted to bring in something, so they voted in Pafford, I guess, for now.
Well, it was that, plus it was a situation of, I think they wanted to have another ambulance, and so for the equipment, the staffing and everything, it was cheaper to go with Pafford than it was to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
But just like in my job in IT, yeah, it's cheap to outsource your first contract. When you go to renew that contract, all of a sudden it's not cheap anymore. I know what you're saying. The other thing that this is not apples to apples is we can't compete with the sales tax dollars that these guys have.
No, not even close. Not even close.
cannot differentiate your voice here from anybody else on the council.
Do you want me to go to the doctor and get a
Would
voice
you
box
please?
put in?
Perhaps you need to speak up and change yours, I don't know which.
I need to speak up?
Are you here to rip off that Band-Aid?
Probably.
Rip it off now, or you rip it off?
Well, my thing was
We're
kind
ripping it
of,
off,
But
okay?
we'll pull it down. You can put it down, you can put your mouth on top of it too.
Don't come talk about that.
Yeah,